Hello, and welcome to Cinephellas. That's right, Cinephellas, the only place where even though we're not the Stax brothers, we're blood brothers. All right. Well, honestly, growing up and, seeing history and the way it played out, obviously, being in the South and the Jim Crow era, that's kind of scary on its own. But what makes it even scarier, Kevin?
Vampires. White vampires.
That's right, vampires. So you
Yeah.
have the evil racism mixed with vampires, and then you get that with Ryan Coogler's new movie Sinners. But before Kevin and I get into it, let's look at the trailer.
We gonna kill every last one of you.
Well, honestly, that's a good looking trailer. Now, I don't know about you, Kevin, but I'm just gonna get right to it. This
Yeah,
movie
go
is honestly one of my favorite movies this year. I love it, and everything from like the cast, the director, and one thing too with Ryan Coogler, it's not like he's adapting something like Black Panther or following something that's been done before like Creed. This is something that just came from his imagination, and that's something that I really like too. So I'll let you talk about it, Kev.
Yeah, Coogler did it. This so far, we're only in April, but I love this film. I think it's the best film of 2025 so far. Uh, I think the history, like people have said, and you can draw parallels between this and From Dusk Till Dawn. It's kind of
Mhm.
similar at the end, but Dusk Till Dawn didn't have the amount of history. As you said, Coogler wrote this, and he really put a lot of like himself into it, and I don't know. It felt like a world that was like lived in. Like I was watching a
Mhm.
movie, and like I didn't feel like I was watching a movie at times. Like, oh, this is part of history. Did this really happen? I I loved how music was basically integrated into it. I loved the style of it. We'll go more into it, but I love that specific sequence with dance. But I got to ask you something. Did you see this on IMAX?
No, I did not.
I did. And if anyone was watching this, pay the extra money for IMAX. It is incredible. There are scenes, there's a dance sequence, and there are a few others, not even action sequences or dance sequences, but in the beginning when you see the vast amount of cornfields, like that was beautiful. But you were saying before the video that you had a problem with the palette of the film.
Yeah, which is funny you mentioned IMAX because I don't know if you noticed. I only saw it on Twitter. Uh, at the end credits, Ryan Coogler thanks Christopher Nolan
Yep.
for the IMAX cameras. So
Yep.
that's why I was really confused with like the palette of the movie because for one, I never do this. I was in the theater and I'm like, why does the movie look this way? And I even like looked at people like, am I the only one like not noticing that the movie looks a little dark? And I'm like, is that how the movie's supposed to look? Like I just thought it was dark. And then when you have dark people in like dark settings, it's like you don't really see too well. So I actually thought that was like something was wrong with the screen, like the projector or whatever it is that they use to play movies now. But apparently that's just the look of the movie. Like I was texting other people who saw the movie and even just reading things on like Facebook and Twitter, and they say that's how the movie was meant to look. So I don't know if it looked different in IMAX, but for me it was just kind of dark.
No, I know what you're talking about because I saw that's how I felt when I saw the last Planet of the Apes. Sorry, the title
Mhm.
escaped me at the second, but I remember when I walked out of that movie, an old woman said to me, "He's like, did you have trouble seeing that, or am I just old?" I'm like, "No, I had trouble seeing that. I didn't see that
Mhm.
one in IMAX. I saw this one in IMAX, but I had no problem seeing anything. Like I thought it was beautifully lit, and I saw everything, and the entirety of like the cinematography just added to the movie for me. I can't sing the praises of this film enough. Like I'm gonna let you talk because I don't want to ramble. What else did you like about it?
Oh man, everything was good. Just going back to well, just let's talk about From Dusk Till Dawn because there's a whole generation that probably doesn't really know about it too much. But From Dusk Till Dawn, obviously, you're going to make the comparisons. You have the two brothers, obviously. You have the vampires, but From Dusk Till Dawn is clearly a B movie, and everyone talks about like that transition where it starts off as like a crime drama, then all of a sudden it's a B movie.
Yeah,
This, however, Sinners, I feel like it kind of transitions into it slowly transitions into like, yeah, this is about vampires. And I don't want to spoil anything, but the moment the Native Americans come up, I'm like, okay, this is clearly going into horror territory.
yeah.
So that's something I like too, that it was like a slow transition. But one thing too, I just want to talk about Michael B. Jordan, obviously. because obviously, he's a great actor, but I never seen like a good actor have perfect chemistry with themselves. And even though
Yeah,
he's playing like two different brothers, like you can tell the differences. I don't know if you saw that,
yeah.
like in the way they
Oh no,
move.
yeah. I studied it. I
Yeah.
was watching. Yeah, he's incredible in this movie, and I really just hope him and Coogler become like a team, like Scorsese and De Niro. So they
Mhm.
stick together because this movie only I think dropped 10% this weekend. It's the second week out, and people are seeing this movie, and I recommend it to everyone at work, everyone I see. I think I just pulled a stranger over. I'm like, hey, see Sinners. They're like, who do I know you? I'm like, no, just see Sinners though. Um, but
I
incredible
just
word of
picture you
mouth.
running up to strangers on the street, go watch this movie, Sinners.
Like Harrison Ford, watch this movie.
Yeah,
But
like in Family Guy, he's like, I want
yes,
my family back.
that's like hope you got that reference. But yeah, I just want to talk about Michael B. Jordan was great, and so is Haley Steinfeld. She's fantastic. Delroy Lindo is really good, but I really want to
Mhm.
give a big shout out to Jack O'Connell who plays the head vampire. That guy was
Yeah.
incredible. And there's a lot of musical elements in this movie, and I thought
Mhm.
he brought a lot of musical element very well into the movie. And I thought
Mhm.
it's brilliant what Coogler did with this. I can't believe it worked as well as it did.
Yeah, it did. And just going back to once again Michael B. Jordan, I remember that movie with Tom Hardy where he was like twins.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. Yes.
Yeah. To me, Michael B. Jordan blew Tom Hardy out of the water, like with
Oh
this
yeah,
one. Yeah, but just going back to even what you said with like Haley Steinfeld, like, just seeing her as like that young girl, the remake of True Grit, and seeing her now, I'm like, even in Bumblebee, I'm like, she's actually getting a lot better.
oh yeah.
And also Delroy Lindo's always great, but
Oh,
the music, and I forget the guy who played
the
Sammy in the movie. The music was amazing. I love that this scene where it's like a transition through history, where it's like it starts off with like the blues, and then all of a sudden like Bootsy Collins shows up, and I literally said, why is Bootsy Collins in the 1930s? But then they show like 90s hip hop,
yep.
and then like someone who looked like Rick James. I love that, and he's just walking through it, and it's like for one history, and it just looks good. And it's honestly like even if someone doesn't know history, it's like you can't help but look at it and actually feel like you learned something, especially in this time when they're like trying to cover history and things like that. But I love that scene. Like I could watch that over and over again, and I actually would love to show that to people. Like just pull out my phone and be like, "Yeah, check this out."
I'm telling you now, I see it again, go to IMAX. Please see it. Like that scene in IMAX was breathtaking. I saw it with someone, my friend, and my friend looked at me and she's like, "Holy shit, that was incredible." I'm like, "Yeah, that's Ryan Coogler."
Yeah, I
He's
literally reached out
the
to some
man.
friends, like, yeah, if you all want to see this again, like whether it's an IMAX or just in general, I'm down to see it because I love this movie. And also, the dance sequence with the head vampire, I have to disagree with a lot of what people are saying. When they're saying it's like a musical. To me, it's not a musical. To me, it's just scenes. But people are calling this a musical, and I have to disagree
Oh,
with that.
like, people call it a musical, really?
Yeah, I saw on Facebook, Instagram, yeah, people are like, yeah, it's a musical, but a musical, like they sing to progress the story. This is just literally
Yes.
a quick music scene.
Yeah, and I just it adds to the history element of what Kubrick was trying to like do with putting
Hmm.
history in this movie, and I thought it was great. I love the scene where the vampires are first trying to get in and they take out the banjos. I thought that was hilarious, and
Yeah.
it's like the most corniest, whitest shit in the world, and I loved it. I thought that was hilarious. I laughed out loud.
Yeah, there are a lot of funny scenes in this movie,
Yes,
especially when the vampires are trying to get in. That big guy from 8 Mile, what else was
yes, I
he
know what
in?
you're talking about. He looks. I thought he was Forrest Whitaker's kid. He's
I
not.
used to think that too. What's that movie that Spike Lee did? The army movie, Saint Anna, right?
Oh yeah, saying yes, saying that
He
yes.
was
I
in that
forgot
too.
the yeah, he's no, he's
He
good.
made me laugh.
Yeah, he plays cornbread.
Yeah, Cornbread, that was it.
Yeah.
But like I love the part when they're like he's clearly big enough to just go through those people like a linebacker to
Yep.
get inside, and he's like, "Aren't you gonna let me inside? Aren't you gonna let me inside?" And this isn't a spoiler, but he's like, "Oh, let me in." Like we're family, obviously. We're all one people, but he's obviously trying to get in because of the vampires. You have to be, invite them in and things like that. Which I guess that's a question. How do you feel about the I don't want to say stereotypes, but the cliches of the movie, where it's like they have the garlic, they have the holy water. Like, how do you feel about that?
Of course, Cougar wanted to put stuff that was familiar,
Hmm.
vampire lore, but I was gonna connect to the point where back to Haley Steinfeld. I love that shot where I love what they did with the eyes, how it's like little
Hmm.
lights in their eyes. That was incredible, and when she gets up and it's in the trailer and she's like, "We're gonna kill every one of you," or something like that. We're gonna kill you all. Something I
Hmm.
thought that was awesome. I love the vampire design. One thing in the beginning of the movie where the guy who gives them the barn or whatever that thing was, that building, it's like, oh yeah, the
Hmm.
clan. The clan doesn't exist anymore. Like that was the first. As a black guy back then, I'd be like, this is bullshit. Something's going down.
Yeah.
Like clan doesn't exist anymore. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. And yeah, and all I'm gonna say is Michael B. Jordan has a really cool scene at the end with the clan.
Yes,
That's all I'm gonna say.
yes, that was awesome. And like
Hmm.
there are two scenes at the end. One is kind of just the second one is okay, but the first one I thought was really cool and it ties into today.
Yeah. Yeah, no spoilers here. It's once again history playing out that you're gonna see on the screen, and I really like how it played out. The second credit scene at the end, truthfully, you don't need to see that in my
No, no,
opinion.
it's all right. But
Mhm.
the first one was great. It ties into the history of music and the story, specifically the genre of the music that is pushed in this movie, which is the blues.
Definitely, yeah. And also, like, I don't feel like they need a sequel to this movie, but I do feel like they could if they wanted to, or even do like a prequel with just the brothers before all this happened, or
Indians.
like I read the Indians. Yeah, that'd be a good one too. I actually, yeah, like what the Indians were doing, and then when the guy runs to their doorstep, I don't want to spoil the movie. That would be like how the prequel ends. I actually like that idea.
I liked how Coogler caught him, the head vampire, flying through the air, gliding through the air. I thought those cuts were really good. Like when he first comes in the trailer, when he kind of jumps onto the frame,
Hmm.
going towards like the little house and like the farm, that was cool. And a very quick second when he jumps out of the barn during the final confrontation at the end, like it was, he didn't stretch it out, Cooler. He just cut it. He cut it at the right time. It's a great movie. Great movie.
Would you wait out the night? Like, because that's what I was thinking. Like when the Asian lady was like, like, oh, we can fight off these vampires, blah blah blah. I was thinking I would just wait out the night.
Oh yeah, I'm not going outside. Are you crazy? No
Yeah,
way.
that's what I thought. And then
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. And then as soon as the sun comes up, let's get the hell out of here.
yeah. You don't have to invite them in.
Well, yeah, but but
No,
overall, what would you give it?
oh yeah. So you could probably guess what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give this one 5 out of 5 hair pieces. I love this movie. I may go see it again, but I may do the reverse of what you're doing. I want to see how it plays. There's a theater like 20 minutes away from me that it's a small reheating theater. I want to see if it hits as hard as it did on IMAX. I think it will. I think I'll miss what you're gonna see, what you experience, which I'm jealous of. But it's a great film. It's a typical action movie, but it's layered, and it makes me excited to see what Coogler is going to do with his future projects. Listen, I would line up for Sinners too, but I hope he moves beyond this. I hope he takes Jordan. I hope he takes Jack O'Connell and Haley Steinfeld, because the whole cast is great. Do like a history movie, do something else, but I'm all in on Coogler. So 5 for me. How about you?
Yeah, same 5 out of 5. I know I mentioned the color grading of the movie, but I think I need to see this in IMAX, so I think that'll make it
Yes.
even higher already. So I'm gonna try to see this again. Also, fun fact, Michael B. Jordan originally wasn't supposed to be in the movie.
Oh, really? Who was supposed to be the leads?
Your guy from Magazine Dreams.
No.
Yeah, it was originally going to be
I
him.
believe, I believe you. I believe you, but no. I think uh, Jordan did it better. But I could see Jonathan Majors being Cornbread's role.
Really? Okay, I can see that. But Jonathan Majors was actually meant to be the main star,
Yeah,
and then
no,
for whatever reason.
Michael B. Jordan. No, Michael B. Jordan's like, I don't know. I could I could see maybe if they weren't identical brothers and like they just played it as two
Yeah.
brothers. I could see
Hmm.
that, but I don't think Majors could do what Jordan did with both those roles.
Hmm.
Did you see Magazine Dreams, by the way? Go watch it. It's
I know I mentioned it last time. I still got to see it. I'm going to.
yeah. Just have a comedy prepared after.
Yeah,
It's so
I heard that. Yeah,
it's very good.
but overall, 5 out of 5 movie, and it's something you definitely want to sink your teeth into. Until next time, this is a Cinefellas review. We always have reviews on our YouTube channel and our website, and we're all updating our social media, so make sure you check it out. And until next time, Kevin, what do we always say?
Cheers.
Cheers.